Okay, so we're wanting to stamp now. We're going to use this little stamp for the inside of our card, our camera. And since this is so dark in here, we're going to have to add a little inside panel, right? That'll make that a little bit lighter so we can stamp onto it. For the inside, this is a little bit too dark to stamp on. So we're going to cut some white cardstock here. We're going to use another one of the stitch rectangles, a little bit different size than what we've used on the front. But I do like the stitching, gives it a little extra look. So we're going to do a couple cuts here. I keep forgetting I want to move that secret weapon. I want to make sure I stamp on that, but not when I die cut. Okay, so we're getting there. Just a little bit of stamping to do and our card will be finished. We can run a couple through here at one time because I'm going to need a couple cuts. So this is a way I can save myself a little bit of time. I think that saving time is always a good idea. And usually before I do any stamping, I do the die cutting first, because if I do a real nice stamp and then I make a mistake when it comes time to cut, and I cut it wrong, I've ruined and wasted all that time stamping. So I like to die cut first most of the time, and then I will come back and stamp. Now if you're really good at die cutting and you know you're not going to make any mistakes, then you can also die cut, or I'm sorry, you can stamp first and then die cut. That's just up to you, however you like. I see there's a little bit of dirties here, ickies on my white cardstock, so I don't like that. I think I'm getting ink onto my, you can see right there some ink that's got into the cut. So I think it's from my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one again. This is just again how things some of the time don't come out exactly how you expected. I'm going to run that through again just to make sure we get a couple good cuts and without the little extra ink spots. So let's try that. Those look better. I'm happier with those ones. I don't see any extras on that, so that's good. Move all this out of the way. Time to do some stamping now. Haven't done much stamping yet. Lots of die cutting. And I think I am better at die cutting than I am at stamping. Maybe that's why my cards have a little bit more die cuts on it than maybe yours would. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with doing. If you like to stamp more, go for that. If you want to do more die cuts, that's your option. You get to make your card however you want it to be. So far, that's the front of my card. Maybe a little busy. We'll see how it ends up. Got these. I'm going to get my stamp for the inside. And we want to test this. We're going to do this on an extra scratch piece of paper. These stamps might have been used before. This is, for the inside, we're going to say, wishing you a day filled with good things. This is from the July 2019 Kit Club. So I really don't have any Father's Day stamps around here with me, so I'm trying to figure out things that would work for this card. So that saying's kind of nice. So you want to get a block that is as small as possible. That will also fit the stamp, so we'll just lay that on there. And then I don't have any of the large ink pads, so I have these mini ink pads, so I have to just carefully go over this, tap, tap, tap. We want to get this all filled in with ink. And since this stamp has probably not been used, you're not exactly sure what the result's going to be the first time. But if you test it out, then you'll know what to watch for. I think I've got ink on all of that. And I'm going to go ahead and move this on to the secret weapon because it'll give me a little bit better impression. Push down. Nice, you can see that one little spot that I want to, the good on the D. So it's good that I tested it. Let's get ink on here one more time. Again, everyone, I'm going slow to help you learn. So again, for beginners, a lot of these things will be helpful. For the pros, you know all of these tricks already and you know what you're doing, but hopefully this will help somebody because it is helping me to learn some of these things. So let's try that again. Now I can see I've missed that little D again. So let's try to get that to fill in there. Now I might have a little bit too much ink, but let's try that. Okay, we're going to try, let's wipe that down. Got my dotty wipe there, get that extra ink off. There's that one little D that I'm not quite getting enough ink on there, so I really have to make sure that area gets a lot of ink. So we get a nice, the message is the part you really want to have the right kind of impression, something that you can be proud to show off. That looks all right. And we're ready to put that onto the inside of our card. And we're going to decide which way do we want that to go. We're going to put that right here in the center, and that way we can add a few little extra stamps onto there with our little cameras. And we're going to get the ink on there. Try to get that to fill in as best as possible. I've got to make sure that I stamp on the secret weapon. That'll give me the best impression, and I want to make sure. Ooh, I see a little bit extra there. We don't want that to get on our card if we done this much work. Let's go back here and ink that up. And I'm trying to make sure that everything else is clean because I see my fingers are messy. And my block's a little messy, and that's going to get onto the card if I'm not careful. So we'll center that. Okay. That little D doesn't quite fill in, but that's good enough for me. Okay. So we're going to add that to the center of our card, but I said I was going to use this. Now when I did my practicing, I used this camera set a lot more. I was using this for the outline, but I kind of changed in the middle that I wanted to use more of the adhesive foam, but I will use this little tiny stamp, this camera, and I haven't tested this one yet either, so we need a little block. Put that on there, and for fun we're going to do going to get some of this. This will be we'll do some testing and see how this comes out on our scratch paper. Looks like I've got all the ink on there. And we might do some of the second generation stamping here, because the dark looks a little too dark for me. So we're going to ink this up, and I get the extra off there again because that's going to get right onto my card if I leave it. And the first one first impression we'll do over here, and then we're going to go on to our actual card, and we'll do these off to the side. Just a little fun, different look. That is ready. Oops. Make sure I get the tape going the right direction. And I could have put adhesive paper on here or foam, but since it's really just a square or rectangle, it's pretty easy. Apply that in there. And I have a little bit of space. If I want to write a note over there, I can write a note. That looks great. And then we just have to get Dad on the outside. So for that, we're going to use our stamp set called Funky for Low ABC. Now I really do have a Dad stamp. We have stamp sets with that, but I just don't have any here at the warehouse. So we're using what we have. I've already tried these stamps, and the stamp set only has one D in it, so I'm going to have to do the DA, and then I'm going to have to come back and do the D again by itself to make this work out. I can do it. When I was practicing, I was able to, so I think we'll be able to make this work. We've got D and A on there. We'll put those on the block. Let's go try to line it up down there so they look like they are getting straight. So this will be on the front of the card, so we do want to make sure it looks nice and straight. And we're going to use the licorice ink again, our You can kind of see how that's going to look. Okay, since we haven't used these stamps for a little while, we will go ahead and give them a good little test first on our scratch paper. We don't want to use that yet. And you see I should be covering all my ink pads, so I have to remember to do that, otherwise I cause myself problems later. It goes over that way. I've got an extra lid. Oh, that's for my licorice, that's why. Okay, let's test this again here. That looks really good. So my block's getting messy though, so I'm gonna clean that up before I re-ink. So again, we have just been stuck at home. The website's been busy, which is great, so we're glad all of you are finding your way there. We miss, for all the shows that are being missed, we miss all of you, but we're trying our best to meet up with you online. Stephanie has her No Makeup Mondays, and then the Thursday Crafting Corner, and we've had classes, and we have HSN preview coming, and all kinds of good stuff. So we are online. You can find us at thestampsoflife.com, the Stamps of Life, or Stephanie's YouTube channel. You'll find us there. So make sure you're checking in. You subscribe to all those. Watch our newsletters. Lots of great sales coming out. All that fun stuff. So we are here, and we know you're out there, and we hear from so many of you, and we see your comments. We read them, and we like them, and so we appreciate all of you so much. Okay. And I want to move this because I would like that to be just a little bit higher. Okay, now we're gonna do this on, get our ink on there, tap, tap, tap on that. That all inked up. That looks good to me. Okay, here comes the real test. Now, see, now I've got my extra ink on there, so we can't have that. I've been doing that a lot today. So that just means I'm hitting the block onto the ink pad at some point. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so that's a good amount of ink. We're going to do the D and the A, push down nice and firm. Okay, and now we just need one more D, so I can just leave the D that's on there already. Some ink on that. Just one letter this time. And be careful to line that up as best as I can. All right, I'm happy with that. Get that to dry, put our lid back on there. Move that paper off to the side. Make sure that's dry before we put our adhesive on there. Apply that to there, and there we go. Oh, I have to find the stamp for the back of my card. I'm going to do that, so I'll be right back. So Stephanie made one of these nice personalized stamps for me to finish off my card. It says, "Real men love Jesus and real men craft." Card by Ken Bernard. So this will be perfect for me. So thank you, Stephanie. I'm going to use this. I like it. I'm ready to stamp with my personalized stamp. The problem is the card is black and my ink is black, so that is not going to show up. I'm going to have to put a little bit something extra there on the back. So I'm going to cut out a little piece, a little square here or rectangle here, and we'll use the yellow. And I think that's going to fit. No, we need a larger one to make sure that fits on there. It's a good thing if I would have stamped first, or if I would have cut it out with that die, it would have been off a little. So that's good. That size will. So this was something I had forgot about it, since you can't stamp with black ink onto black cardstock. I have a little bit extra work to do here on the back. And there are faster ways I could have done this, but just I want to make it nice and clean and look good. Since I've gotten this far, I want the card to finish up really good. Whoops. Well, that will get hidden, so luckily for us, nobody will see that. Put that adhesive on there. Add this to the back of our card. Put that machine out of the way so we can see real good. Okay, so I've got my brand new stamp here again. We're going to have to test that. We'll ink it up and give it a test on our scratch paper. The personalized stamps are on our website. There's lots of new options that have been added, and there's so many of these being made right now. These are really popular. So we have little icons. A lot of them match our stamp sets, and you can get your address or name or little phrases on there. You have lots of different things that you can do with those. So if you haven't got one of these personalized stamps, you really want to have it. And then they make good gifts too. So maybe you want to give one to a friend or someone in your family. They can be used for, again, for addresses or card making, scrapbooking, all kinds of different things. All right, that's good for my test. I see the area that I'm going to have to give a little bit extra on the impression. So clean that up, wipe that down, and we'll try one more time. And then we'll be all finished with this card. I don't know how I'm doing on time, but I will do my best to edit this down and cut it down a lot in time, and I'll give you the real official time about how long it took me as a beginner to get a card made like this. Okay, so I'm going to look that over. With one of the small rectangle dies that we had that I don't have anymore. Where did that go? That will work right there. And we'll just use the tape on this. We won't put the adhesive foam on there. Oh, my speed bumps. Should get a nice cut anyway. Whoops. There. Sheen off to the side. Okay. Let's make sure we get this is our personalized stamp. These are, again, are available on our website. Lots of different options. They make great gifts. If you have a friend who needs an address label or they like to craft like you can give these to your friends. All kinds of options. These are on our website. There's different icons, some new ones, some from the past, but I'm sure you'll find something you like, and you can do fun little sayings, addresses, all kinds of different options, okay? I need ink. Make sure that gets inked up real good. I see a little spot there in the middle that I want to make sure that fills in. And again, I keep getting just a little bit extra on there when I'm trying to get all those little spots, enough ink on it. Sometimes I get some on the sides of the stamp. We want to leave that out. Push down in the middle to give us a nice imprint. Okay. I did get a little bit extra on there, but I can just live with it this time. I thought I would wipe that all off, but it will be okay. So let's add that to the back of our card. I'll go just like that. You can see my little spots, so there's still some improvements, some things I can get to be a little bit better, and I want to move that over just a tiny bit to get it centered. That would be the back of my card. So there we go. There's the front. We got Dad on there. We got our camera, our film strip die. We did a little bit of stenciling. Can probably learn some tips on that or keep practicing and get better at that. But the die cuts all came out nice. We got a little bit of stitching here and there. We've used some adhesive foam, some adhesive sheets to make things easier and also add a little more extra excitement to the card. We open up. We did some second generation stamping. We've got our little phrase in there. And then this card is good to go for Father's Day. So I think I'm going to pass that along. If Stephanie approves it, this will be for my dad. We'll give that to him at Father's Day. Again, I left out a lot. I've edited out a lot to speed things up, but just getting set up and ready to go, it all does take some time. The more organized you are, the better it'll be. It'll make it more fun. You'll be able to stamp and die cut. And when you know where to go find everything right away, it saves you time, saves you hassle, just makes it more enjoyable. So I'm learning that I have to be more prepared ahead of time. One last look at that card. And I keep saying, if I can do it, I know that you can do it. So I hope that if you're new to crafting, card making, that you'll give it a try. I know you can do it. Hopefully some of these little tips and tricks we're talking about and the mistakes I make, that you can learn from these too. And it will be something that will help you down the line and just to help you to get better and better at crafting. It doesn't look like we'll have any shows to go to, so I'll probably have time to do this again, all right? Have a great day. Take care. God bless. Bye.